The Politics program is brought to you, as always, by everybody who makes this show possible at patreon.com/JURY. You want to know what? It's a thing. It's patreon.com/JURY. It's where you can support the show. We don't even have time. We don't have time. Folks, we don't have time to do the plug. If you want to give us money, give us money. Patreon.com/JURY. Let's stop talking about how we fund the show and just do the damn show.
Politics.
Come on now. It's the main time. Welcome, everybody. This is the September 26, 2016 edition of the program. And there are days, my friends, and there are days. And today is one of those latter. Folks, I just want to let you know on the cusp of what we are about to see, what this means. You have heard tale legends. The 1960 presidential debate, Nixon versus Kennedy, radio versus television. You have seen and heard clips of Carter versus Reagan. There you go again. You have lived through Al Gore's sigh. You have watched Mitt Romney put women in binders. But yet, none of them, not Kennedy, not Nixon, not Reagan, not Carter, not Bush, not Obama, and none of the jokers that tried to take their crowns have ever been able to lay claim to what we will almost certainly see tonight, which is the largest viewing audience for a presidential debate in history. There is almost nothing that could stop over 100 million people combining television and internet from watching this thing together. And when I tell you that by itself makes for the grand possibility that we will see a moment we will repeat to our children and grandchildren, I want that to sink in. I want you guys to know that we are on the edge of history. What makes this so fascinating? Let's break it down for a second. This is a man with no political history going against another candidate who has seen every level of government, including the rare married to somebody who's in government. Hillary Clinton has served inside of a state house as a first lady. She was then, the first lady of the state of Arkansas. She was then the first lady of the nation. She was then a senator from New York. She was then a presidential candidate. She was then a member of the State Department, and now she is again running, and this time she has secured her nomination. So let's go. Experience versus inexperience. Man versus woman. Republican versus Republican-esque. Democrat-Republican. Crazy person versus Republican-Democrat. Who knows? However you want to factor it in. The will of the people versus the globalist. I have blood. It's running through my veins. You will never win. I'm Alex Jones hype today, baby. Oh, my God. I'm going to crack a 40 and have to drink it at lunch just to take the gosh darn edge off. I'm going to be popping pills like Kurt Angle tonight just to make sure I don't explode into a spire of pure light. So pumped. So pumped. All right, let's get to the news. Here's the news. Panic! Panic! Everybody! Panic! Panic! That's live and direct from inside of all of my Hill Dog friends, family, and followers. There's panic setting in. Panic. You want to know why? Because throughout the Obama administration, there had always been one kind of oracle at Delphi for Obama supporters. His name is the bespectacled editor of the 538 Vertical of the ESPN and Disney empire, Nate Silver. Nate Silver had consistently warned against overinflated hype cycles, had warned against things being too caught up in the narrative, had chided the political press for feeding into things and therefore overinflating numbers and creating noisy statistical poll samples. And so when, after the first debate 4 years ago, when Mitt Romney did a very good job against Barack Obama, he was the one to say, calm down, children, calm down. The fundamentals of this race have not necessarily changed. He predicted with great accuracy every single one of the states that Barack Obama won 4 years ago. You might remember URLs. Is Nate Silver a wizard? And it's just yes or no based on whether or not he got all 50 right. And he did. He got all 50 right. He's a smart dude. Here's his tweet this morning. The latest poll is consistent with Clinton's lead of less than 1% nationally. State firewalls are breaking up and the trend lines are awful. Listen, folks. When I say that Nate Silver has been a salve for Obama voters for the last 8 years, I don't necessarily mean it to say that he is there to make liberals feel better. I'm just saying he did make liberals feel better. And also, he reinforced the narrative that many liberals believe that, as Stephen Colbert said, facts have a liberal bias. Right? That literally you just need to look hard enough at the evidence to prove us right. Nate Silver was the perfect stand-in for that. So I'm just going to let you know, because this is something that I talk to. I mean, I live in the Bay Area, baby. Like, all I do is talk to liberals. I love liberals. Liberals are like my favorite people around me because this is where I live. This is my home. I've probably predominantly lived in majority liberal centers of the country. South Florida, New York, California. Like, that's just where I've lived. That's who my friends are. All of them panic when Nate Silver says something bad. All of them. All of them. So the more you start to see Nate Silver and 538 start to say that this is a problem, well, folks, this is a problem. And we're going to get into one of the biggest problems that Hillary Clinton has in a little bit, because we're going to do our Map Monday on Pennsylvania, which, not quite what it used to. That old gray mare, man, ain't what she used to be. We're also going to do one of my favorite things, which is to get into petty and silly gambling. My friend, the old schooler, the Mike Ruler, the Mitzula, is going to be joining me. He did a list for us and all the PX3 listeners on props, proposition bets. So this is normally what you would see at the Super Bowls, usually when it's most popular for non-total degenerates. You'll see just a bunch of random bets. What color will the Gatorade be that gets dumped on the head of the winning coach? What is the opening coin flip going to be, heads or tails? Stuff like that. We've got our own list of prop bets for this debate, and we're going to go through some of the best of them in a second. But before we do that, we're going to wait for Mitzula to call in here. And as we do that, we're going to talk really, really quick. I got a feeling... wait, here we go. Here's Mitzula. How you doing, Mitz? Uh-oh. We're having technical issues here. All right. Skype's being a butt. Let's try to call him back. Skype. Let me just say this. I think that the Clinton team is kind of preparing for the narrative that they lose the debate tonight. Like, I think this is troubling. I think this is seriously, seriously troubling. Robbie Mook, the head... Oh, man. All right. Skype is just totally pooping right now. Pooping on my heart. Pooping on my life. Pooping on my wife? I don't know. Yeah. Crap beans. Let me try to restart Skype and then we'll call Mitzula back. But I kind of have this feeling, because Robbie Mook comes out and says Lester Holt needs to fact check Donald Trump. That it's up to the moderator to correct the record on Donald Trump. But that's never going to happen. Like, literally, it's just them working the ref and them being able to throw Lester Holt under the bus the way that they threw Matt Lauer under the bus for not moderating correctly or for asking tougher questions to Hillary than they do to Trump. We're going to try this one more time here with Mitzula. All right. We are ringing to our Las Vegas odds maker. Man, I'll tell you what. This live call thing is going great so far, huh? Oh, man. We're really killing it here. We're doing it live, folks, like Bill O'Reilly taught us. Ah, crud. Ah, crud. I would like to just call him. Oh, wait, do we have him? Do we have...
Am I through?
Yes, you are. Oh, here we go. Just when we had lost faith. Ladies and gentlemen, Mitzula, live and direct from Las Vegas. How are you doing, my friend?
Now that the Skype is cooperating a little bit better, the Windows update has just borked my laptop, so...
Well, you want to know what? We're just gonna have to live and let live on this because we are here now, and that is all that matters. We are taking a look right now at the sheet that you have prepared for us. We are looking at it right now. Let's go through some of the props you are most proud of. These are both created, crafted, and tuned up by you based on what is happening just in the world of political props today, right?
Yeah, this is just kind of, I sampled some of what was available offshore. I added some extra stuff that I thought would be kind of fun just for you guys. And I got done handicapping FSL and thought I didn't have enough imaginary handicapping done for the week, so I thought let's do this too.
Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what we got here. Uh, Obviously, you have a lot of the clothing stuff. So, color of Trump's tie, color of Lester Holt's tie. Will Megyn Kelly be wearing red?
Oh, spotted a typo. Yeah, that's just some of the basic. That's like everybody likes random color props. As you said, the Gatorade one from the Super Bowl. A lot of that is just kind of basic, but it's a lot of fun just to kind of have a watch. Plus, it's something that there's no, you don't listen to an idiot. You don't have any person. You just listen to it
Yeah.
and just guess what you want.
Yeah.
So it's not quite, it's not like you have to wait for a guy to run and make a 500-yard conversion or do something like that. This is just, I think he's going to wear red today. Done.
All right, so let's get
quick.
into what I think is the most exciting, and this is the mentions. We'll either mention Putin, we'll either mention Bernie Sanders, we'll either mention Ted Cruz, we'll either mention LGBTQ, and we'll either mention fracking. Of those, what do you think is the strongest based on how you had to set these odds?
I think the strongest one is probably going to be LGBTQ. I think that's kind of one of the hot button topics, and I really think that's something that Hillary can wave over Donald's head because he seems to be a little opinionated on that subject.
Well, he seems to want to own it a little bit. Like, part of me thinks that he's going that Trump will be the one to mention it because he wants to believe that he is a strong friend of the gays.
Yes, very good. I know great people, many great people.
Many great gays. He knows so many great gays. So LGBTQ, although Putin would also seem to be pretty strong, right?
Putin seems to be pretty strong,
But that would be more Hillary. But this is why
yeah,
these are exciting, is because either can say them.
I don't see Trump bringing him up, but Hillary could mention him as your friend Putin or something like that.
All right, so here we go. These are the heavy favorites. Will Trump mention the wall? Will Trump say shut up? Shut up would be, I mean, that if we get a shut up out of Trump, like that's immediate Hall of Fame debate one-liner, right?
The no shut up is the heavy favorite on that. So yeah, they're not expecting it to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting it to happen, but he could slip up. That's why it's not one of the biggest prices on the board, which you'd think it should be, because a calm, controlled individual would not say that in the middle of a debate.
All right, then we have will Hillary mention Melania? So that would seem to be, if you're doing that, you are kind of assuming and pricing in that Trump would bring up Bill, right? And
yeah, both spouses were mentioned. I think Bill. I was going to offer the Bill bet, but it's pretty much about the same price as the Melania, and I already had enough will Trump say things that I didn't want to put too many on one sheet.
So here we go. Will Hillary say deplorable? I mean, that seems to be the fact that it is not like a Trump, or sorry, Hillary saying bigot seems to be a bigger stay away than deplorable. Seems like a bit of a misstep there, because there's no way she goes back
I could
to
see
her
Hillary
graveyard.
not directly calling Trump a bigot, but saying that's
Just
a bigoted
saying
kind
that,
of thought, or
yeah.
bigoted people. Bigoted could work its way into conversation a little easier than I think deplorable will.
Well, and deplorable is the site. I mean, she said deplorable, and her polls fell apart, right?
Yeah,
So, like, why on earth would
deplorable
she say
is
that?
like the grenade. That's like the nuclear launch code. You don't hit that thing because it's not going to go well for you.
We also have here, we'll either mention Twitter. Now, this was something that you might think would be a little silly, but really wasn't when you looked at the Republican primary debates, because everybody was talking about their own website and following them on Twitter, right?
Yeah, they were plugging their own stuff. The only thing is I mean, I think the Twitter part might get a little softened because Trump's going to want to distance himself because every deleted tweet he's ever had has surfaced in the last week. So I think he's going to try to pretend Twitter doesn't exist. Now, I don't know if Hillary calls him out for something he said on Twitter in the past, but I think that's something that could happen. That line's probably
Well, and that was a big applause line for her during the convention, is she made mention that anybody who could be baited with a tweet should not reside in the Oval Office. So, I mean, this is not that, I think, I mean, of all of these mention props.
Yeah, but you also that's a direct mention. That's not tweet. She has to actually say the word Twitter.
She has to say Twitter. So she
Yes.
can't. It can't be about. Can't be retweet. It can't be.
Now it can't be why did you tweet me? You tweeted this. It has to be on Twitter
It's
or at
gotta be
Twitter
Twitter.
or
Oh, okay.
mentions include the actual proper word. There is also a stip that in the rules at the bottom that does state anytime if any of them aren't mentioned, it is a no action bet. But I think most of these most of these will be answered. Either the America's first or the Who Says First bets. I got a little ahead of myself there.
Okay, so yeah, let's go through those. Which one of those do you like the best?
I think my favorite one is the thank you first because I just don't see Trump ever saying it. So I think
Yeah.
Clinton saying the first thank you is pretty much my stone
Well,
cold.
no, you got to figure
of the
that
week.
comes in at the very beginning, right? Like they're gonna say thank you to Lester Holt.
You'd think that, but I don't see Donald Trump saying thank you to anybody.
I mean, that would. I don't know. I almost wonder whether that's a. That might be just a toss up. Who says president first is also very interesting.
Yeah, I mean I think that just comes down to whoever goes first.
Yeah, that someone's going to say President Obama, right?
It's either gonna be President Obama or I want to, or this is why I'll be the next president, or, my opponent isn't very presidential, or, there's a lot of president. The president could be, I mean, I think it's going to be, that's why I'm running for president, or I'm going to be your next president. It's going to be I think it's going to be an opening statement line. It's going to be one of the first things that's not one of the, what are they wearing props that's going to hit the board is who's going to say president first.
Here's another one that I really, really like. Who says Wall Street first? You have Clinton as the underdog and Trump as the favorite here.
Yeah, I don't know if Clinton brings it up at all, but I think Trump could bring up her and her Wall Street cronies, which is kind of ironic since he's about the same thing.
Like literally lives near Wall Street.
Like literally has an apartment there and sees it every day, but I think he still points to Clinton and says, she was easy on Wall Street. She's soft on Wall Street. She's got Wall Street cronies, blah, blah, blah. I think that's one that can come through pretty easily for Trump.
Now, here's one where if you want value, you got some real value here on this. What happens when they first meet on stage? Because again,
Yeah, meet on stage. Yeah.
we have not seen a man and a woman debate each other on this stage before. We've seen vice presidents do it, but not presidents. And specifically not presidents that previously seemed to be fairly friendly with each other. They were at least social acquaintances. I assume.
I mean, yeah, they've it's not like they're two people that have never met before or been in public. They've been together many times. Clinton was at Trump's wedding, well, his third wedding.
It would not be crazy. I mean, like there are pictures of them with their arms around each other.
Yeah, they've been
right?
friendly in the past.
So it's like the idea. So here's what my value play is. What happens when they first meet? Hug without a kiss, plus 300. I feel like you might just have a brain fart from both of them. Big, high pressure situation. They're all focused on a lot of other different things, and they just go into a hug.
I think that could be kind of a default one. It's just a matter of that's one of the plus monies that I think has the best chances of happening. However, I don't know if I think Hillary will. I think attempted hug, pullback handshake is the way to go because I think she might kind of go for a hug and then realize, wait, I can't do that, and then shake his hand while he tries to get a hug out of it.
An awkward aborted
handshake,
hug.
Yeah.
Oh man, now that would be good.
A hug shake kind of set that stage perfectly when like Trump goes in for the hug and maybe even tries to go for the kiss on the cheek, and Hillary kind of pulls back and just kind of sticks her hand out and does the handshake. And the I know you, but no, you're not doing that kind of routine.
So here we go. This is, talk about value play.
This is the exclusive for Politicsx3. A lot of these others were influenced or borrowed from other websites. This one was strictly for you, Jerry.
Yeah, this is will anyone mention Harambe? We have yes. You get 500 to 1 odds, meaning if you laid $1, you would get $500 back. And if you want to lay no, the heavy favorite, you have to lay $10,000 to win $1 above it.
No,
right?
you have to lay $100,000.
Sorry, 100,000. Sorry, I'm losing my vision here.
Yeah.
$100,000 to win $1.
Yeah, as much as the internet loves him, I don't think anybody on that stage does.
No one's gonna mention.
The only wild ball in this is if somebody yells it from the crowd loud enough, or runs in and does a streaker kind of moment where somebody runs across the stage and yells Harambe, 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 which could happen.
Yeah.
But I kind of think this is just a long shot. So,
I mean, so you obviously follow this show. How political are you in general, Chris?
not really super political. I've kind of, I follow along as needed, but it's one of those things I've always kind of realized that I'm just a cog in the machine, and really, no matter what I do, is kind of irrelevant in the long run. So, as much as I kind of want to watch it and kind of care, I realize the more I get invested in it, the more it just pisses me off.
So this is something that you know enough about to kind of reset these lines. Is there anything that screams to you? Is there any a package of bets that you would put on a slip?
If I was gonna parlay, I think I parlay Clinton says thank you first to Trump mentions the wall. I think somebody does mention Putin. I think that's the good upset value. So I think those three together. Let's see, you got a -110.
Yeah, I love Putin too. I love Putin. Yes, Putin plus 200.
I think that pays you back about 4.5 to 1 on that 3-teamer, which isn't too bad.
Look at that. Megyn Kelly's got to be wearing red, right?
I think that's too much of a look. I also noticed there's the no should be minus plus 110, not 6-110. Not 619 like Cesaro in the match last night. Before the suicide dive from hell.
What do you think? What do you think the multiple is going to be on the debate rating versus Raw rating?
Is Infinity an option? Because I mean that wasn't a stellar pay-per-view, and that's not.
Oh, are you kidding? It was a great pay-per-view. I loved every second.
But I mean, it was good. But I didn't set the table for I have to tune in tomorrow to see what happens.
That's a fair point.
It's also going up against Monday Night Football. Granted, it's two mediocre teams, but it's still Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
So before the show started, I put it in ratings tonight. Number 1, presidential debate. Number 2, Monday Night Football. ... Number 354, Monday Night Raw.
Well, that's the other thing is I wonder how many channels showing the debate will be above Monday Night Raw.
Oh,
because you got to figure at least
most of them.
3, right? At least CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News.
And then if they sprinkle any of the other slanted, standby networks are kind of doing the auxiliary stuff. I kind of wish for these debates they would
Flama's
do
debate coverage is going to outpace Monday Night Raw.
I kind of wish they would do like ESPNU does with the college bowl games for the big games, where they have they could set up the feeds where they have the Republican feed, the Democrat feed.
Oh, just people watching feed. It. Yeah, like for those of you who don't know, so ESPNU will every once in a while. Usually it's for like Auburn, Alabama games, but
usually it's for big rivalries or like the big bowl games.
Yeah, so they'll have just a room of famous ex-players or commentators, and they're just watching the game. Like they're literally just like you're just hanging out with them, and
it's just a completely biased opinion.
Yeah, and they're just yelling things. They're just like it's just like watching it with a bunch of famous people. I would love to just see Karl Rove and James Carville watch the debate by themselves.
That could you imagine just having a channel feed onto even like Reese or some of those guys, just to have a feed of them watching the debate and just watching them freak out over everything?
Yeah, I mean that would just be I can't even imagine it. I love it. I would love that. I'll tell you what. Maybe that's what I'll pitch to BitTorrent News. I'll just be like, come on, for these debates, whatever. You can have me making jokes, like that's fine. But like, also, let's just get famous political correspondents to just watch it, and we'll watch it with them.
Well, and as I said, you do 2 feeds. You do the news red and the news blue, and you have all the Republicans in one feed and all the Democrats in the other, and they just let loose.
I guess that would be the thing, right? You would have to make sure that they'd feel comfortable just ripping apart the other candidate in real time.
Yeah, you can't have I think you have to have them in separate places too, because you just can't have them, because otherwise it's just a shouting match between each other and it overrides everything.
Yeah, Crystal points out that the Keeping It 1600 team is streaming it and then watching it on Facebook, and that is a couple of Obama's old speechwriters that have written speeches and stuff for Hillary. So that will be part of it. But I don't know. I don't think that Jon Favreau, as much as I enjoy his work, is not a James Carville. James Carville is a one-of-a-kind animal.
James Carville is scary.
Yeah. No, he's the best. All right, Chris. Any final words here on our betting sheet?
I think we pretty much covered everything. I don't know if you plugged the link or not, but it is a bit.ly/P3props, all lowercase, for anybody that wants to print this out at home, make their bets. Unfortunately, I will be working tonight with Monday Night Football, so I probably won't be watching it live. So if anybody wants to follow along and keep tally of what actually wins and loses, and let me know that'd be great, because I'm not going to have a chance to watch it live. So.
Yeah, we will be we will be keeping track here. You can follow along. That is bit.ly/P letter P number 3 props. Right.
That is it. Yeah, that's the short link for this one. And if this goes well, hopefully we'll be doing it for the second and third debates. And the third and the final ones are live in Las Vegas. So maybe you can come down here for it.
Boy. I'll tell you what, might have to make my way out to Sin City. Thank you so much, Chris. I'm very, very happy that Skype finally allowed us to talk to each other.
Well, yeah, there was some Skype preview it had downloaded that was being stubborn, but once I opened Skype proper, it finally went through.
Major issue. All right, buddy. Thanks so much.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mitzula, follow him at MITZULA on Twitter. If you need a man in Las Vegas, he is it for you. Let's go ahead and take a moment now to thank a few of our other sponsors. Here is the biggest. Folks, I have impressed upon you what we have on our hands here tonight. It is the most watched debate in history. However, we're going to have lines. We're going to have lines during this that you remember forever. And I want you to be able to have them in your life for the rest of your life. I want you to be able to have them as part of your contender game for the rest of your life, which is why we've decided to stay up late tonight. And I got a 5 o'clock flight tomorrow. I have no idea why I'm doing this. We are going to write a 12-card expansion tonight, just based on what happens during the debate tonight. We are going to proof them and design them tonight. We are going to send them out for shipping on demand, probably tomorrow morning, early. We are going to get them back in a few days, and we are going to ship them out ASAP. It is the Battle of New York Hofstra Debate Expansion. It is a mini expansion. It's going to be 12 cards, including at least one topic card, and it is available to you right now. Head on over to either facebook.com/thecontendergame or at contendergame on Twitter, twitter.com/contendergame. You will get the link right there. You also got it if you are part of our mailing list. So go ahead and check that out. Again, this is going to be fun, and you are going to want to have these cards. You are definitely going to want to have these cards. We're going to base our order based on how many orders we get by midnight tonight. So if you definitely want one, now's the time to get it. Go ahead and check it out. And buy stickers or DIAF. Buy a sticker pack. Listen, man, they're cool stickers. I would just say get one. They're $5. Ships all over the world. All the art is done by Carter Johnson. They all have our Diamond Club logo and various different things. A dinosaur, spaceman, cactus, whatever you want. Go ahead and check it out. Stickers or DIAF.com. Hey, let's go ahead and take a look at our map. This is our Map Monday. When I say that people are going to start panicking if Hillary doesn't do well in this debate, here's why. It's not because, the press is biased or things are not being fair for Hillary. Here's why. If she does not win Pennsylvania, as every Democrat has done since, I think, Eisenhower, she's effed. She's effed in the A. She can lose Ohio. She can maybe even lose Ohio and Florida. She can't lose Pennsylvania. And so this has always been the safety blanket. Pennsylvania and Virginia have been the safety blanket for Hillary Clinton. But who doggy? We are starting to see, some very troubling polls come out of the Keystone State. The reason why Trump thinks he can win there is because Trump does very, very well with blue-collar white voters. And as the aforementioned James Carville said, Pennsylvania is the T state. It has two, I think he said New York on either side of the state and Alabama in between. So you have at the lower parts of the state, of a fairly rectangular state, Pittsburgh on one end, Pennsylvania on the other end, and then red country above and through the middle. Trump needs to turn out that white blue-collar vote to win. And it looks like right now he is doing it. These are two polls that came out over the last week, a Muhlenberg College poll and a CNN opinion research poll. One has Clinton up by 1%. The other has Clinton up by 2%, with a margin of error that pretty much puts that within. So what to make of Pennsylvania? Well, you have fairly high third-party support. Gary Johnson does 8% in the Muhlenberg poll and 6% in the CNN opinion research poll. You got to wonder if that starts to erode, who does that affect better? Does that, repair things for Clinton? And also, is this something that will stabilize? Will we see Hillary Clinton come out of this? I'll tell you what, though, it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit since Basket of Deplorables. It's been a little bit from her kind of having her feigning episode, her feigning goat episode, leaving that 9/11 thing. So I don't know whether or not these are fundamental shifts in the race. But just to give you a sense, earlier in the month, that same Muhlenberg College did a poll that had Clinton up 6. 2 weeks later, she's up 1. So the people of Pennsylvania are starting to look at Hillary Clinton a little differently than they did. Bain 1138 says, I'm in the Philly suburbs and he's not popular here at all. Well, yeah, but that's the point, is that there are parts of the state, when you really, really look at how presidencies are won, you are looking at, for each side, counties that they have to turn out larger than they would otherwise. And it's not convincing. Again, that's this myth is that undecideds are going to decide the election. I mean, on a certain level, yeah. But really what will decide the election are people that are predisposed to vote for you that are now going to vote. People that are on the fence, that are disaffected liberals, Bernie supporters, they need to come over to the Hillary side if Hillary is going to win. People that hated Donald Trump, that were Ted Cruz supporters or John Kasich supporters or Marco Rubio supporters, they need to come over to Trump's side for Trump to win. So in Bucks County, outside of Philly, yeah, you better hope if you're Hillary that you turn out that base. I don't really even know the political breakdown of Bucks County. Somebody who's actually knows some crap in Pennsylvania is going to yell at me. I only know Bucks County because M. Night Shyamalan always puts his movies there, and that's outside of Philly, right? Question mark? Moving on. Yeah, rural PA is on fire with Trump love. Yeah, that's true. But listen, Hillary can't lose Pennsylvania. Let me make that clear. She can't lose that and be president. Flat out. No negotiation. Let's go ahead and get into your emails. You can email me, Justin Robert. I always screw this up. theyoungamerican@gmail.com. Again, theyoungamerican@gmail.com. Alex writes us as a Trump supporter. I want more Trump supporters to write in because I want a full cornucopia of this debate. I will say I've gotten more Trump supporters to email in now that he's doing better in the polls. Alex writes, when I was an 8-year-old, I flushed a cherry bomb firecracker down a toilet. I knew it was a bad idea. I knew there would be consequences, but I still could not help myself from just wanting to literally blow stuff up to see what happened. That's what it's like voting for Trump. Voting for Hillary is like skipping the party Friday night to do homework. Lame. I mean, listen, dude. I think you'll probably get some heat. You'll probably get some heat for that. But listen, we take all kinds here. John writes, how can I better divorce myself from the social media people I follow for one interest, such as tech or gaming, when they start espousing fear-mongering vitriol that they fear that the candidate they oppose for? Block, mute, unfollow, or engage, knowing the echo chamber might drown out any opposite discourse. Thank you for the most neutral voice in political coverage that I've heard. Again, we do not aspire to be neutral on this show. We aspire to be silly, and hopefully that does something for it. So listen, you know, I share your opinion because I don't want to be all stick to sports. You know, I don't want to be all like, oh, well, you should only be allowed to talk about certain things because I don't want to get boxed in on that. I like to talk about a lot of things. But we are in an era right now where there is the proselytization is real, right? Like there is just a need to get the word out on every level that this has to happen in a certain way, and you are an idiot or a racist or a moron if you don't support the candidate that I support. I would suggest muting. Don't engage. It's just not a good thing to engage. So mute, you know. And really, that's part of it. I know that it's like that for me. Like, if people like me about politics and then I go on an 8-tweet spree about an episode of, you know, Monday Nitro that I'm watching on the WWE network from 1996, I'm going to get some unfollows. Like, it's fine. You know, like, anybody who talks this much about politics, this close to the election, has to understand for their personal online brand that you might get unfollowed and you might get muted. And for you, John, if you have people that you feel are not bringing you a happy Twitter experience, because normally they're talking about PlayStation VR, and now they're talking about how, you know, Trump is literally Hitler, then, you know, I would say mute them and see whether or not your online life is any different without them. And if after the election you find, oh, I really miss this person's thoughtful discourse on video games, then follow them again. Right? Just that simple. So mute. Mute liberally. B writes, I'm sorry to say, but Pepe's connotations are very much now associated with those who enjoy Casper the Cross-Burning Ghost. Even before Hillary's Grandma Explains the Internet speech a few weeks ago, the company I work for had to have a serious staff meeting back in early August because somebody had drawn a feels bad Pepe on a physical building public-facing document that had a massive flood of complaints come in. This also isn't a business that tends to attract many savvy internet types. Face it, we have to give up the ghost on this one, or rather give up the meme to the pointy-headed sheep ghost. I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily make a lot of Pepe memes myself, and if I were to make a Pepe meme now, I would at least be understanding that it is tied to the Trump campaign. I don't know if I feel like it is tied to white supremacy. So I could see it being a controversial thing right now because the Trump campaign has adopted it. In the same way that you can't play the stupid Fight Club song, and by that I mean the fight song, not Fight Club, not the Pixies. Not Where Is My Mind, but the fight song. This is my fight song. Play it every night song. Hill Dogs thinks will be alright song. Like that song. Like that is associated with Hillary now. They played it at the convention. She plays it every night. That's a thing. So I'm willing to see that it is now politically charged. I'm not willing to see that it is a white supremacist thing. How's that for a compromise? Renee writes, with the upcoming debate, I was hoping that I'd share what I'd like to see. I'm hoping you'll share my vision. Here we go. I'm hoping that Donald Trump will really play play on his health being so much better than Hillary Clinton's. And by this, I mean I want to see Donald Trump wearing a Richard Simmons workout outfit. I want to see Trump doing squats off to the side while Clinton is speaking. I want to see Trump snacking on power bars and drinking protein shakes. I want to see Donald Trump running on a treadmill while he's talking about how great it would be for the presidency. I'd like to see Pence acting as Trump's personal trainer. Come on, 2 more reps, bro. 2 more reps. 2 more reps. Anyway, these are just some of my ideas. I'd like to get your opinion or your own personal suggestions on the matter. Love the show, though. Thank you, Renee. This is the kind of quality shitpost email that I treasure on this show. And we need in our lives. Absolutely, it would be amazing if Donald Trump decided. And it would be really great if he got winded while he was doing it, right? Like he would be doing squats and it would like he'd be trying to he would just have this big poop eating grin on his face, right? And then he would get up to the mic because Lester Holt would ask him a question and he would be like like one of those big Dom DeLuise wheezing, right? Like that would be the best. Clay from Illinois writes, so the Clinton campaign is now calling out the press for double standards, but not how you think. It's brilliant as it is insane. Trump has lowered expectations for himself in the press's eye that they are grading him on a different scale. All he has to do now is not self-sabotage, and there's a clear road to victory. It's like a wise coworker of mine told me about managing projects. Lower expectations so you can exceed them. Has this whole thing been a con, a brilliant business maneuver pulled on the American people? And if so, does that mean he could actually be a decent president? Say it ain't so. Clay, I don't think that this is a brilliant con. Nor do I think that the idea that the press is giving Donald Trump a free pass is kind of ridiculous. Because the press has roasted Donald Trump repeatedly. Now, the fact that it might not be resonating with voters is a different thing. But CNN hasn't put chyrons up for Hillary Clinton saying she lied or she's not doing this, right? They've done it for Trump. There have been more negative articles written about Donald Trump than negative articles written about Hillary Clinton. So I don't think that there's and also, we've talked about this before, if anybody has set low expectations for Trump, it's the Clinton campaign. Because you go watch the Clinton campaign commercials, and there's not a lot about Trump's plan for healthcare is wrong, and here's why. It'll affect seniors. That's what you normally see, right? But the national ads for Clinton are all Trump's awful things that he said while people look on in horror, right? So the narrative then is if he does not say those things anymore, he is now better. He has improved. So for the Clinton campaign to get all high and mighty about, the press isn't giving him a fair shot. Man, you're the one running these ads. You're the one treating him like a toxic Frankenstein monster and not a candidate. So I don't know. I mean, listen. For every time that you point a finger at somebody else, you've got 3 pointed right back at yourself, Mr. Man. Another Jay Martin writes, hey, Gerbs, Gary Johnson missed a huge opportunity during the Trump Jr. Bowl of Skittles gaffe. Gary should have immediately made a video and just enjoyed a bowl full of Skittles. Instant viral hit. That would have been pretty good. Just slamming. Although it would have been amazing. You're starting to see Big Gary Johnson kind of come apart a little bit in the national spotlight. And not for any of his beliefs, right? Just because Gary Johnson's kind of very obviously a goofball. He wears silly pants and he likes to make jokes. And he did a thing on, I think it was MSNBC, where he was talking about what he would say if he were up there on the debate stage. And he was like, I could just walk like this. I could walk with my bug out. And it wouldn't matter. And it's geez. I understand that he's trying to get a laugh out of the reporter, right? And he's trying to be a fun and funny guy. But some of that's just not presidential, right? A president can do it because you've already elected him. Presidential candidate, I don't know if you would do it during a job interview. That's all I'm saying. But yes, it would have been amazing if Gary Johnson was tasting the rainbow. And he was tasting the rainbow, like sitting next to, Raekwon. Terry Steiner writes, in the U.S., we have a first pass. Okay, so Terry Steiner wrote me a whole thing about how it's not necessarily that America wants two parties. It is because of our voting system and our lack of proportional voting that forces us into a two-party system. I summarized. It was a very long email, so here's my summary. In the U.S., we have first past the post voting. Whomever gets the majority is the winner, period. The person closest to or above 50.1% wins. This type of voting has pushed you into a two-party system. Well, yes and no. I mean, we have, yes, that in the Electoral College, right? So here's an example. You have three parties. One that you love, one that you're okay with, but isn't perfect, and finally one you hate. Let's say the party you love is small and gets only 25% of the vote, and the party you're okay with gets 35%. The parties could form a coalition, but they cannot because the party you hate won with 40%. They win even though 60% of the people voted against them. They won because their candidate got the most votes, even though they have the minority of total votes. The mathematics of first past the post system does not favor more than two parties. Next time, you have to pragmatically vote for the okay party to make sure that the hated party doesn't get in. Yeah, no, I mean, I can see where that makes sense. I also think that the way that our current system works, like, man, proportional voting with the Electoral College would be the most complicated thing on the planet, right? Because now it would be like a year and a half of us trying to figure out in the last week of a sports league who's in contention for the playoffs. It would be so complicated. I don't think we'll ever do it. But thank you very, very much for illuminating us on the mathematical realities of such a system. And of course, we have our tortured analogy. Send your tortured analogies. We've gotten so many of them, and I love each and every one of them, like the special snowflakes that they are. Nate writes, if a political candidate were current American pop stars, I believe that Jill Stein would be Lana Del Rey. Let that sink in. There's going to be a lot of political coverage today. A lot of it. From people that do it all the time and people that are just doing it for the evening. None of them will have this sentence be a part of their coverage. If political candidates were current American pop stars, I believe that Jill Stein would be Lana Del Rey. Ah! I remember once for Game On, the old video game show that I wrote with Brian Brushwood and Veronica Belmont and OMG Chad, I once wrote that Lana Del Rey was a fat-lipped warbler, and I was very happy about that. And I always think of her as a fat-lipped warbler. She has, Jill Stein is Lana Del Rey. She has a very dedicated following that loves every weird thing that she does, but the vast majority of Americans either haven't heard of her, strongly dislike her, or just can't be bothered enough to care. Gary Johnson would be Nicki Minaj. First off, they both love weed. Nicki manages to have a passionate fan base that pulls from hip-hop communities and pop music that don't necessarily mesh naturally. Gary similarly pulls different shades of conservatives and liberals. Donald Trump would be Cher. Do you believe in life after love? They've both had incredibly successful decades in the late 20th century. Most of their best work is behind them, and both basically spend all their time incoherently bomb-throwing on Twitter. And lastly, Hillary Clinton would be Madonna. They're both ubiquitous in their respective spheres, controversial, arrogant, and had some of their largest moments of notoriety in the 90s and are undeniably talented, even if you don't like them. Nate. Thank you. You're just the best. You're a gem. Email theyoungamerican@gmail.com. Buy The Contender at thecontender.us. Remember that our music has been provided by Valesco and Trop Killers. Follow me during the debate on at Justin R. Young everywhere. Twitter, on Instagram, on Snapchat. We're making fish faces to each other on Snapchat. Hit me up on there at Justin R. Young. Make sure that you follow The Contender. Remember that The Contenders, Hofstra, Battle of New York, debate expansion, 12 cards for $10 is available right now. Just go ahead and follow us on social media at Contender Game on Instagram, and Facebook.com/The Contender Game.
Politics, 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 politics.
You can download archived episodes of this show at bonerwars.com.
Politics, yes.
Some shows talk about politics, folks. Others talk about politics. This is the only show that talks about politics. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. See you guys later.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.